Hi, I'm Mike Wolf for Star Licks. On this tape, we'll be taking an in-depth look at the guitar style of Steve Vai. Steve Vai's exotic and often bizarre sound is the result of years of experimentation, practice, and the constant refinement of new sounds and techniques. His close association with Frank Zappa and Joe Satriani helped set his stylistic direction, while his involvement in the Frank Zappa Band, Alcatraz, the movie Crossroads, and now the David Lee Roth Band have offered him many inspirational outlets for his phenomenal guitaristic displays. On this tape, we'll be taking a look at 20 licks spanning Steve Vai's recording career. But before we get started, let's tune up. We'll start with the low E string. The A string. The D string. The G string. The B string. And the high E string. Now, if you'll get out your manual, we'll start with lick number 1. Here in lick 1, we have a real quirky solo in the key of E minor. Taken off of one of Steve Vai's earlier solo albums, this lick starts off with a hammer-on pull-off on the B string. Next we bend and then hit a note on the G string, and after that slide it down from the 6th to the 2nd fret. Next we work our way up an E Dorian scale, climbing the B string just by using the whammy bar and hitting harmonics each time. He continues on by playing in the 7th position, then working his way up the B string, all by bending the notes just with the left hand and not picking them. After that, he resolves to an E root position scale on the 12th fret, pausing on the flat 5, resolving with that blues lick in the root position. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. And now here's lick number 2. Here in lick 2, we play this crazy pattern all on the G string just by trilling with the left hand and moving between the 9th fret down to the 4th fret, back up to the 9th, and then up an octave higher to the 14th fret. So we're playing around with the key of B, and here it is one time slow. And now on to lick number 3. Lick number 3 is a fast 6-note sequence, all played on the high E string with one note on the B string. We only pick this sequence once at the start of the lick. And as you can see, the lick is created with the strength of the left hand through hammer-on and pull-off, which is a big part of Steve Vai's style. Here's the lick one time slow. And on to lick number 4. Here in in lick number 4, we're playing in the key of C sharp minor, and we start by bending the minor 7 on the B string, dropping it with the bar while we're bending it, and then as we release the bar, we start a hammer-on pull-off that goes down to C sharp minor pentatonic. Then we work our way down to the 4th fret, playing this arpeggio that spans the 4th, 6th, 8th, and 9th frets. Make sure to use your right hand to mute the strings to get that percussive sound. The end of the lick is played on the high E string and slid between the 11th and the 7th frets. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. And on to lick number 5. Here in lick number 5, which is our next phrase from the C sharp minor solo, what we play is on the high E string, we slide around between the 18th and the 16th frets while using the whammy bar to create a saxophone-like effect. Following this, we play a very fast run in the key of C sharp minor. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. And here's lick number 6. Here in lick number 6, which continues in the key of C sharp minor, we start out with some right hand tapping. This is called a pedal point technique because we repeat the top note over and over. This is followed by a slide down the B string, a whole octave slide from the 16th to the 4th fret. Then we bend the 4th fret on the G string and we tap it on the 16th, which is an octave tap. We end this lick by bending the 4th fret on the A string up a whole step. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. And on to lick 7. Here in lick 7, we start by playing in the key of F sharp minor, playing 2 blues positions at once by stretching out our left hand. At this point here, we're sliding down to another position of the blues scale. An artificial harmonic on that note on the 11th fret of the G string. Then we slide down to the root position of the F sharp minor blues scale. Now here's the lick one time slow. And on to lick number 8. Here in lick 8, we're playing a more traditional blues lick in the key of A. We're playing root position and working our way down the scale through the use of hammer-on and pull-off with the left hand. And then we tag the lick with this. Lick number 8 itself is not hard, but what's important to get is the subtle timing nuances and bending nuances that give it its flavor. tag of lick number 8, we have a pre-bent release note. Bend the note on the 7th fret of the G string first, and then pick it and release it simultaneously, and that will give you this tasty effect. Now here's the whole lick one time slow. And on to lick number 9. Here in lick number 9, we're playing another traditional blues lick, this time in the key of D minor, and what we do is start off by sliding down the A string and working our way back up to the root position. At this point we shift back to an A tonality, using some half-step bends on the 12th fret. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. And on to lick number 10. Here in lick number 10, we're playing a blues lick in the key of C sharp minor, and we're creating a snappy rhythm approach by doubling up notes on the B and E strings, and resolving the lick by coming down the blues scale right on the 12th fret. Make sure to get the subtle bending nuances on the tag of this lick and the half-step bend, which we end the lick with. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. Here's lick number 11. Here in lick number 11, we start out with a B minor arpeggio started on the 14th fret, and work our way down a B minor scale, sliding down to the 7th fret. We resolve this lick with a major 6 interval on the D string and B string. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. And here's lick number 12. Here in this lick, we start out with an A major tonality, then shift back to an E minor tonality to resolve in this E minor blues jam. Resolving the last note on a B note, 14th fret of the A string. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. Here's lick 13. Here in lick 13, we're playing a fairly cliche D minor blues lick, but what's neat about it is the harmonic and the nuances that he throws into this. You can create this artificial harmonic by using the edge of your thumb, actually touching the string by putting the pick so close to the edge of your thumb that some of the skin from your thumb touches the string and creates this high squeal. Then we end this lick by creating a double stop on the G and B strings and bending in a downward direction. This last bit is a trill, which we do by hammering and pulling off between the 10th and 12th frets. Now let's go over the whole lick one time slow. Here's lick 14. Here in lick 14, we're playing an E minor blues jam, but playing a G major tonality on top of that by use of octaves, which we're sliding around the A string. After this, we resolve the lick by bending on the 16th fret of the G string. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. Here's lick 15. Here in lick 15, we're playing basically in an E minor jam, but we're trading off major and minor tonalities at the start of the lick with the major 6 and the major 9 against a major 3rd. At that point there, we slide into that note on the B string, 20th fret, and drop it with the whammy bar. Then we continue down an E minor blues scale. Making use of 4 trill slides. Then we hit one of Steve Vai's patented whammy bar extravaganzas. The way to play this is to hit the 14th fret on the G string, hammer on the 16th fret, and use the bar to accentuate the rhythm of this lick. And then we resolve the lick by playing on the open E string and playing this hammer-on, pull-off, open figure lick. With an E major resolution at the very end. Now let's try the whole thing one time slow. Here's lick number 16. Lick 16 is the climax to our E blues jam, and we start by playing an E major arpeggio starting on the 19th fret. Then at this point we run into some tricky fingering on the D string. What we do is lower the index finger to catch the 14th fret after playing the 16th and 15th with the pinky and 3rd finger. Then we do a trill slide down to the 7th fret on the A string. After that we work our way back up an E minor arpeggio going all the way to the top of the guitar. Here at the top of the lick, we slide into the 22nd fret, drop it with the bar, then bend it up a whole step. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. Here's lick 17. Lick 17 is a very classical sounding lick and is very reminiscent of a Baroque period classical piece by Bach or Beethoven or Mozart. The way we finger this lick is to start with a 2nd finger on the 14th fret, then slide the second finger to the 16th fret, and then move our index finger back to the 13th fret for the last 6 notes. Let's try the whole lick one time slow. Here's lick 18. Lick number 18 is a continuation of our Baroque style lick, and what we do is to move the same theme up to other positions on the neck. Finally resolving on a high A note on the 17th fret of the E string. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. Here's lick 19. Here in lick 19, we're playing in the key of F sharp minor and playing an extremely fast pentatonic sequence. First we play in the root position, then we stretch out our third finger to take on the second position as well. Then we go back to the root position and resolve the lick like this. Here's the lick one time slow. And on to lick 20. Here in lick 20, we're playing in the key of F sharp minor, and we're taking advantage of the Dorian scale as well as the blues scale with a flat 5. The best way to play this lick is using the first, second, and third finger rather than using the pinky for the flat 5. I think you'll find better results with this finger, which is much more stronger and agile than the pinky. Now let's try the whole lick one time slow. Well, that concludes our tape. Hope you've enjoyed sharing these licks and this in-depth look at Steve Vai. Remember when playing these to always play with the recorded example. Always keep your ears open and try to catch all the musical nuances instead of just learning a couple of notes stuck together. What's really important is to make them sing and to always be aware of your musicality. Keep practicing.
今日は出番がないか